Hello, everybody, to all those who are attending Asian EFL Journal Group's International Virtual TESOL Conference. This is Rajesh. Today, my colleague and I would like to present to you our research, which is entitled A Corpus-Based Study of Vocabulary Problems in IAU Preparatory Year Students Writing. My name is Dr. Rajesh Aruri, and my colleague's name is Dr. Tlili. We both are assistant professors at Imam Abdurrahman bin Faisal University in Dammam, Saudi Arabia. Our research title is, it's a corpus-based study, and we wanted to find out the vocabulary problems in Imam Abdurrahman University preparatory year students writing. Now I would like to give you the outline of the presentation. First, I'll talk about introduction. Then my colleague will introduce introduction and theoretical background, then methodology, results of all the levels of the students in different tracks, and the presentation will be ended by conclusion. The abstract of our study is, it is to analyze and interpret the vocabulary problems identified in IAU Preparatory Students Written English. 12 health, engineering, and science students' written assignments were collected to be analyzed and interpreted qualitatively and quantitatively. Grammatical and lexical collocations, lexical appropriacy, students' use of a limited range of advanced vocabulary or major areas of study. And as you can see, the keywords: vocabulary problems, IAU, collocations, lexical appropriacy. Now I would like to invite my colleague, Dr. Tlili, to start with introduction.
And thank you very much, Dr. Rajesh. I would first express my sincere pleasure to be one of the participants in this first Asian EFL Journal Group's International Virtual TESOL Conference. And second, I'm going to talk about the introduction to our planned research paper. So of course, if you observe here, we have raised the question why this research. Okay, this is answered indeed in our findings and discussion, especially based on our observations as teachers of the prep year students, KSA, Saudi Arabia, prep year at Imam Abdurrahman University. We observed that students really suffer from many problems relating to vocab and lexicology. Okay, so here it's mentioned here, if you you are welcome to follow me with these points displayed in here. Recurrent lexical errors in students' writing. This is one rationale behind our project of writing this paper, and the weakness of the diction used by our students. Okay, if referring to the corpus of our study, this corpus is related to Imam Abdurrahman University Preparatory Year students, General English and EAP writing assignments. What are the major types of vocab problems observed in students' written English? There are major three problems or three defects of our students dealing with the lexical diffusion in their written compositions. First, it is the wrong and dropped collocations. Second, it is the lexical inappropriacy. And third, it is the limited use of advanced vocabulary. If we move to slide 7, this is really the theoretical background to our research. Of course, when we as we are really concerned to deal with our students lexical problems or lexical errors, we need to review any kind of provided theoretical background in the literature. If we see here, we can refer to Pillar 2011, who defined the lexical error as a deviation in form and or meaning of a target language lexical word. Grammatical deviation, according to him, includes ignorance of syntactic boundaries, which may lead to such errors as false collocations. You know, so if students are really have any, or if students really have uh, defects relating to the grammar, the grammar of words and the grammar of phrases, this will lead them really to commit kinds of mistakes related to lexemes as well, like grammatical collocation. Semantic deviation, on the other hand, is related to the fact that lexical items are used in contexts where they are misunderstood or misinterpreted, ending in violating semantic restrictions. This is according to Pillar 2011, page 75. If we move to the following slide, um, lexical errors, Bekoff, for example, 1980, refers to semantic deviation when there is incorrect choice of lexical items, or also when a given semantic feature is breaches or violated. And in most cases, while Dr. Rajesh and myself study the cases of mistakes with our students, we observed this kind of semantic inappropriacy, especially in the choice of the proper lexeme or word in the proper context. The focus of this research is not actually on lexical form-oriented errors such as phonology, spelling, or grammatical inappropriacy. It is rather based on semantic features related to lexemes like wrong or dropped collocations, lexical inappropriacy, and misselection. Students means they most of the cases they misselect the proper word, and though we try to teach them words through context, but we discover that this is not enough, or there is a gap in the way of transmitting the uh, the the uh, the kernel of the target language. Limited use of advanced vocabularies as well an observed feature with our students. We observe that lexicologically speaking, or if we talk about the vocab, the diffusion of vocab in any written composition of our students, we observe that really it is poor in the use of advanced words. Most of the case they use simplistic words, which are very common and consumed by students not of high level but of low level. Yes, if we go to the taxonomy of lexical errors, we have two branches. You see branch, the right branch and the left branch. The right branch is related to our work indeed, but the left branch, which is form here, has no relationship or has no pertinence to our research. We are really, we focus more on the meaning. Why? Because this really is salient relating to the lexical diffusion in the written language of our students, especially leading to the confusion of the reader caused by, for example, failure of sense relations going to synonymy or antonymy, or any kind of lexical paradigms. Lexeme relationship, they have a problem of a choice while they write. And of course the collocation, the famous collocational error with the lexical and the grammatical collocations. This is taken from lexical era types by James, 1998, from page 142 to page 54. Okay, so the third part is methodology. So it means it is the method we, Dr. Rajesh and myself, we adopted in order to carry the testing of our hypothesis and the really to make sure whether the observations are really recurrent with all students of all levels and all branches or not. Okay, if you see here, so the participants, our subjects are of 60 students from different levels and branches. We have beginners, intermediate, and advanced from science track, from engineering track, and from health track. We try to vary the levels, and as well we try to vary the tracks. So, and here we as well focused on assignments from the beginning of the year and from the first semester and the second semester in order to rather guarantee more validity and more reliability of the research that the students are when they start learning English and when they end the prep year. Okay, so my colleague, Dr. Rajesh, is going to talk about the data collected in this part of research paper, which is methodology. Dr. Rajesh, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Tlili. So in terms of data, we collected it from Blackboard Learn, which is an official electronic platform set by the Deanship of Preparatory Year, and it is produced by Oxford University. So students typically submit their assignments, upload their assignments into the system, and in turn, the faculty members download and correct them. So the collection of data happen from there. So these are the written compositions, original written compositions of science, engineering, and health track students, as Dr. Tlili just now pointed out, of 2018-19 academic year of first and second semesters. So this is a production of formally and officially submitted. This written production, these essays were formally and officially submitted by students as part of their formative assessment. And as already pointed out by my colleague, Dr. Tlili, that to bring in the reliability and validity of research, we took first assignment, first, second assignment submitted in the first semester, and even the second semester assignments submitted by the students. In terms of data analysis, we took AdConc software, which is used tool for quantitative analysis, which is used for numerical data analysis. So this data has been incorporated into the software to sort out and arrange students' lexical production to identify the types of errors. So this AdConc software facilitated us to see the sorting out the number of the words, collocations that they've used. Then we, Dr. Tlili and I, we try to identify the types of errors from the list provided by AdConc software. And the software actually helps in counting frequencies and provides word lists and vocabulary clusters in order to identify the student's lexical defects. And in order to respond to the observed errors, which were clearly explained by Dr. Tlili, wrong, dropped collocations, lexical inappropriacy, limited use of advanced vocabulary. So we adopted taxonomy of James 1998, which was again explained already by my colleague, and Corder 1974 analytical steps, which provides a systematic procedure of study. In the procedure, if you can see, according to Coda, so we just identify, describe, and classify errors depending on their aspects and causes, and interpreting the degree of their seriousness. So this is a flow chart of Coder's analysis, research procedure. You can see collection of sample learner language, identification, description of errors, explanation of errors, and evaluation of errors. Now the results will be discussed by my colleague, Dr. Tlili. Dr. Tlili, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajesh. Okay, so the fourth part of this research paper is related to the results or findings and discussions. Here, a few samples of the total data analyses have been provided in this presentation. The results are still to be consolidated by further processing of the data analysis. It means that we are only here going to present some examples which shed light on the principal hypotheses and the principal answers to our research questions, putting question mark on the problems our students here and our prep year are suffering from. If we go to the next slide, we see a table here with the three major titles: students, concordance, and error type. So here you see if we tried even to summarize the students to three here. There were 8, and you see if you observe it, but we just summarized them into 3 examples for the sake of gaining time for this presentation. If we focus on the right column, we have, for example, categories of mistakes like repetition, like lexical collocation, like semantic inappropriacy. And if we see the restricted, look at the second box, right, restricted use of heavy semantic content vocabulary. This is a kind of survey, general survey about the composition provided by each student, studying the category of vocab used by the student, especially dealing with advanced heavy content, semantically heavy content lexemes. So students, I don't know whether consciously or unconsciously, try to eschew using the words, for example, they are introduced to them in their textbooks, which are advanced and in a way rich in their semantic content, but they go more to very simplistic, overused words. And if we see here the statistics provided by Antcong, which is the software just introduced by my colleague Dr. Rajesh, you see that the total number of words, of word tokens, for example, it is 105. Look at how many function words. We have 72 with this student. And out of 33 content words, only one advanced content word. This is not only limited or restricted to this student, but it is really diffused actually among most of the cases we've already studied. This is for science and engineering beginner. If we go to science and engineering intermediate, we can observe the same thing almost. Look at the error type: inappropriate use, lexical collocation, lexical collocation again, inappropriate use of words, restricted use of heavy semantic content, grammatical collocation. Look at the 7 times repetition of words, grammatical collocation. You see, this one, you may say that there is a repetition of the same category, the same type of error, but this is strategic and this is really serious to show the gravity of the recurrence of the same mistake with all levels of the students and all students in all tracks. So here plans and recommendations are going to be suggested by my colleague Dr. Rajesh and myself in the implications of this research. If we give examples for look at the concordances selected here and worked on or sorted out by the software. Look at combines, for example, combine beautiful nature, strong, combine something with something else. Earliest sports, it's a lexical collocation. Normally you say oldest, not earliest. Look at the naturalistic strength instead of natural strength. Without reply, this is inappropriate as well. Means here, without reply means for null. For example, the score of football match or any kind of sports competitions. Look at the box of the restricted use of heavy semantic content vocab. Total 219 word tokens written by the student. How many function words? 127. How many content words? 20. 20 advanced content words out of 92 content words. The capacity, look at student 4 for the concordance. The capacity for the stadium is the capacity of junk food. Look at 7 times of repetition. Here we have only written three, but the essay shows 7 times of repetition of the same word. This shows what? The limited lexicon of our students, whether this is a problem from their high school or a problem of laziness. They don't like to work hard in order to be equipped with enough lexemes suitable for any given piece of writing. This is as well is going to be studied, the causes of what is really found in our research. If we go as well to the level to the science and engineering advanced, you will observe that the same error types are repeated here. Semantic inappropriacy, grammatical collocation, lexical collocation, repetition inappropriate, means semantic inappropriacy, grammatical collocation as well, lexical inappropriacy again, ambiguity. Okay, so if we go to the example, we say, look at student 1. He said, and aesthetically engaged. Normally, for example, he can say artistically, or he says aesthetically engaged in learning from each other. There are many advantages to this, many advantages of this. Immense time, lexical collocation, we say in English, immense amount of time. Big hair, look at the collocation, big to hair. Look at repetitions, student 3, investing. Is owned by, the students here says owned too. Eliminating weight instead of get rid of physical weight. You see that students really they are suffering from vocab problems, and this needs a plan of a remedial plan to focus on these types or categories of mistakes. My friend and colleague Dr. Rajesh is going to talk about health track students. The floor is yours, Dr. Rajesh.
Thank you, Dr. Tlili. As we heard from Dr. Tlili explaining the error types committed by science and engineering students, I would like to share with you the error types committed by health beginners, which are almost the same. There is no particular difference. Uh, and as you can see, first, with the health beginners, we see errors like repetition, grammatical collocation, dropped grammatical collocation, which is very typical, especially with beginners, we observed when we were analyzing all the essays. Dropped grammatical collocation, grammatical and lexical collocation, as another aspect of error type that we have seen frequently in the assignments of beginners. And as you can see, the overall restricted use of heavy semantic content vocab of the essay, you can see out of 56 content words, 16 advanced content words is used. So you can see the variation of content and advanced content words. If you move on to health intermediate also they're a bit advanced than beginner, but we can still see the same kinds of errors happen with grammatical collocation, inappropriate lexical choice. As you can see here, second, student two, I suggest for you. So I suggest, instead of I suggest you, uh, wrong grammatical collocation is used. And look at other examples that we have mentioned here, which clearly state that there are vocabulary problems even with intermediate students. If I move on to health advanced, now the advanced students are supposed to be better, and they are better, but they still commit errors like grammatical collocations and lexical collocations. But in terms of content words, of course, what we observed, they use more number of content words. But in terms of advanced content words, we have observed that they also don't use many advanced content words. So this is in terms of health advanced. Now, the concluding remarks and other implications of the study will be explained by my colleague, Dr. Tlili. Dr. Tlili, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Rajesh. Just if we want to recapitulate the main points we've passed by and we've explained in our research paper, they are here summarized, succinctly summarized in these slides. For example, if we deal with the first conclusive point, which is the problems observed in writing formative assessment is the starting point. So we as teachers observe that our students really show a lot of errors and mistakes dealing with the use of words in their written compositions. Collocations, weakness of diction, inappropriate use of vocab are the most salient mistakes, among others, maybe which are secondary in gravity, are going as well to be tackled by the authors in the fully produced potential paper. Uh, so the authors here study these recurrent lexical problems by collecting authentic data formally submitted by the students. Here, Dr. Rajesh and I, we try to look for data which is really formal and under serious context of production for the students. Methodologically speaking, this study is inspired by the work of James, 1998, because he provides the literature with the taxonomy of mistakes. And of course, we can't really work on the types of errors without having a background about what is provided in the literature about the categories or about the era types. Of course, Corda 1974 is a pioneering as well figure in the realm of error analysis, especially dealing with the procedure of collection, identification, description, analysis, and evaluation of lexical mistakes. Um, uh, Technologically speaking, we tried as well to show that this research is based on a kind of quantitative analysis based on provided technology of numeration and counting incorporated in embodied in the in AntConc software. If we go to the other slide, we see that lexical and grammatical collocations, inappropriate use of vocab, and weak diction are identified as main lexical errors committed by the IAU Preparatory Year students. Beginners of both set and health tracks show problems with the use of lexical and grammatical collocations, repetition, and grammatically weak diction. Intermediate students of the set, means the science and engineering, show the same problems, but they tend to use richer diction than the beginners, though still not rich. It means here the higher the level is, the difference is only, mainly, not the only, is mainly with the number of the advanced words used. So we focused more on that in order to uh, really highlight the fact of encouraging and inciting our students to go for advanced and to take the risk of using advanced words. Same problems are found with the advanced students with the science and engineering. If we go to slide 25, the most evident common problem is that all students of all levels use very weak vocab with a very little variation. This is what we just talked about. So I said that students need to be encouraged by all means. By all means, we try to really think about schedule and a plan to boost the use of advanced content words. Teaching collocation should be an integral part of the LT syllabus. What we observe in our textbooks is that the reference to collocation is very marginal and very limited. So here, although our students are really suffering, seriously suffering from such problems, teachers need to seriously deal with the students' confusion with sense relations, which leads them to use inappropriate vocabulary. Even if our students try to avoid repetition, they go for the wrong synonym or for any kind of lexical paradigmatic choices because they are not trained enough to choose what is semantically related, means what is the exact related word to any other used word in their written products. The last point is more consolidating feedback must be provided for the students to stress their awareness of lexical defects. This is very important. So students must be shown their mistakes again and again. Once and again, we focus on showing them, look, but not directly, not to be embarrassing, but in any direct or indirect way without naming that these are your problems. So in order to create this kind of auto-awareness of their mistakes and concentration in their writing in the future. Okay, so works cited. These are the books which we refer to so far, and we have other as well here, other books and articles which are pertinent to our work. Inshallah, we will, okay, we have a good list here, but we still have other maybe pertinent works to be referred to. What remains only is to tell you thank you very much for your attention. I'm really elated to be one of the participants in this prestigious international virtual TESOL conference, and see you inshallah in other happy occasions. And I would like just to give the floor to Dr. Rajesh if he has anything to add. Dr. Rajesh, the
Thank
floor
you.
is yours, please.
Thank you, Dr. Tlili. I would like to thank you all for listening to our presentation, and we both will definitely wait for your remarks and feedback on our presentation. Thank you so much. Dr. Tlili.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rajesh. Thank you, everybody. See you.